All right, so get this. Imagine if we could help wounds heal faster with less pain and, minimal scarring. That's what we're going to be diving into today, the science of photobiomodulation, PBM.
You got it.
And how it's changing the game for wound healing. We've got some really fascinating research to unpack here, specifically focusing on how MedWave's 635 millimeter and 810 millimeter light technology is making making waves in this field.
Yeah, what's really exciting about PBM is it's totally drug-free and it's non-thermal. So we're really talking about using very specific wavelength of red and near infrared light to kind of stimulate healing at the cellular level.
Wow.
Yeah.
So instead of like creams or pills, we're using light. That sounds like, I don't know, almost like science fiction.
It does sound a bit futuristic, but the science behind it is really solid. So light in the near infrared region, particularly between 800 and 1100 nanometers, has this incredible ability to penetrate deep into our tissues. Yeah.
So it's not just a surface treatment. We're talking about actually working deep within the wound.
You got it, precisely. And this light is absorbed by these molecules within our cells called chromophores, and it triggers, this cascade of reactions that basically kickstart the body's natural healing processes.
So let's talk about the problem PBM is tackling here.
Yeah.
We all know wound healing can be a challenge, but for severe injuries like burns, it can be a real uphill battle.
Absolutely. Yeah. Burn injuries are a major health concern worldwide. They cause immense pain and suffering, not to mention the strain on healthcare systems. Impaired healing can lead to infections, chronic inflammation, and even, life-threatening complications.
A big problem.
Yeah.
And that's where PBM comes in, the potential game changer, right?
Absolutely.
We're going to be looking at this groundbreaking study that investigated the effects of MedWave's 635 millimeter and 810 millimeter light on third-degree burn wounds. And I think that's a good place to start.
Okay, yeah. Third-degree burns, those are the most severe type of burn, and they affect all layers of the skin, and they leave the underlying tissue extremely vulnerable. So this particular study used a really cutting-edge proteomics approach. So essentially, they analyzed a wide range of proteins to understand how PBM works, at a molecular level.
That's fascinating. And,
Yeah.
and what did they find?
Well, the results were really quite remarkable. Both the 810 nanometer laser and the 808 nanometer LED treatments, they both activated really similar biological pathways involved in tissue repair. So, we're talking about pathways responsible for, pain reduction, energy production, blood vessel formation, even the body's inflammatory response.
So it's like PBM is like a conductor, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of orchestrating all these different processes to work together for optimal healing.
A very, very apt analogy, yeah. And what was particularly exciting is that this analysis uncovered both known and novel molecules involved in tissue repair, which is, it's expanding our understanding of how PBM really works its magic.
That's pretty cool. So let's get down to the results here. Did PBM actually speed up wound healing?
It absolutely did, yeah. The study found that both the laser and LED treatments led to significantly faster wound closure, compared to the control group. So after just 8 days, the laser treatment group saw 43% wound closure.
Wow.
The LED group saw 48% closure, while the control group showed no significant change.
Wow. So that's a dramatic difference.
Yeah, it really is.
But it's not just about speed, right?
Right.
We want to make sure the healing is high quality.
Of course, yeah.
And it leads to strong, healthy tissue.
For sure. And the research has definitely addressed that by measuring what we call pro-reparative markers. And these markers basically, give us a snapshot of how well the tissue is rebuilding itself. So they looked at levels of DNA, total protein, hydroxyproline, and hexosamine.
Right. So what's the takeaway message from those markers?
Well, the takeaway is that PBM is promoting this really robust tissue regeneration. So the increase in these markers across both the laser and the LED treatment groups indicates that, it's not just speeding up wound closure, but it's also promoting the formation of strong, healthy tissue, Think of it as like giving the body the building blocks it needs to, reconstruct the damaged area in a more organized and efficient way.
Yeah, that's impressive. But we can't forget about inflammation, right?
Yeah.
Controlling inflammation is crucial for proper healing, especially with burns. What did the study show regarding PBM's effect on inflammation?
Well, both the laser and LED treatments significantly reduce the levels of several pro-inflammatory markers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so, these are those molecules that are notorious for causing pain and tissue damage. So reducing them is a big win for the healing process.
So it's like PBM is calming the storm so that the body can focus on rebuilding, right?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Did the researchers look at like the actual tissue under a microscope? What did they observe?
They did, and the microscopic findings really paint a clear picture of PBM's effectiveness. So the PBM-treated wounds, they showed increased fibroblast proliferation. These are the cells that are responsible for producing collagen, which is, the scaffolding that holds our tissues together. And they also observed enhanced angiogenesis, which means new blood vessels were forming to, supply the healing area with nutrients and oxygen.
So it sounds like PBM is promoting, a really healthy healing environment.
Absolutely. Exactly. There was prominent epidermal migration, meaning that the outer layer of skin was healing very effectively, and minimal inflammatory cell infiltration, which shows that, the inflammation was under control. And finally, they saw well-aligned, densely packed collagen fibers, which indicates, strong, organized tissue repair.
And how did this compare to the control group?
Well, the control group showed a very stark contrast. They had, a damaged outer skin layer, edema, which is swelling, and scattered fibroblast cells, which indicates, much slower healing,
right.
Reduced angiogenesis, and persistent inflammatory cell infiltration.
Yeah.
And the collagen fibers were loosely packed and thin, indicating weak tissue repair.
It's like comparing, a well-constructed building to like a shaky, unstable structure.
Yeah, exactly.
PBM seems to be promoting, a much more robust and organized healing process.
That's a great way to put it. And it doesn't even stop there. They also delved deeper into how PBM protects cells and promotes regeneration. They used a test called the 2UN assay, which detects DNA damage and cell death.
What did they find?
Well, they found fewer apoptotic cells, which are cells that are undergoing programmed death, in the PBM-treated wounds.
Interesting.
So this suggests that PBM has, a protective effect and helps to preserve those healthy cells in that damaged area.
So not only promoting new growth, but also protecting existing cells, huh?
Right, exactly.
That's fascinating.
They also found that the PBM treatment significantly increased the expression of PCNA and TGF2.
And what do those markers tell us?
So PCNA is a marker of cell proliferation. So again, we're seeing, more evidence of increased cell growth and repair. And then TGF2 is a growth factor that plays a crucial role in tissue remodeling, helping to orchestrate that complex process of rebuilding the damaged tissue.
So it seems like all the evidence points to PBM being, a powerful tool for promoting healthy and efficient wound healing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's tackling the problem on multiple fronts: faster closure, stronger tissue formation, and reduced inflammation. And the results are consistent across both laser and LED treatments, which is really remarkable.
That is remarkable.
Yeah. I think this study is a great illustration of a key point about PBM. It's not just about the wavelength of light used,
right,
but also, the delivery method.
We've been talking about both laser and LED light.
Right.
Is one better than the other?
It's not so much about better or worse,
okay,
but rather understanding the strengths of each approach, So lasers, they emit a very highly focused beam of light,
okay,
which allows for deeper penetration into tissue. So think of it like, a surgeon using a scalpel for a very precise incision.
Gotcha. And LEDs?
LEDs, they provide a much broader beam of light.
Okay.
And they're generally more affordable and portable. So, making them suitable for a wider range of applications. It's like using a broad brush to cover a large surface area.
I see. So it's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly. Yeah.
What's interesting is that both the laser and LED treatments in this study showed, similar positive results.
Yeah. And I think that suggests that the specific wavelengths used and how they interact with our cells might be the crucial factor rather than just the delivery method itself.
We've talked about how PBM kind of stimulates healing.
Right.
But what's going on like at the molecular level? What's actually happening?
Yeah, so one key player is nitric oxide, which is, a signaling molecule with various roles in the body, including blood vessel dilation.
Okay.
So research suggests that that PBM can actually stimulate the production of nitric oxide within cells.
So PBM is boosting blood flow to the injured area,
yeah,
bringing in more oxygen and nutrients to, to fuel that healing process.
You got it, yeah. And that ties in nicely with the study's findings on, enhanced angiogenesis, which is that formation of new blood vessels.
Right.
So, increased nitric oxide production is likely contributing to that process.
So it's like PBM is giving the body like a double dose of healing power.
Right.
Stimulating cell growth and blood vessel formation at the same time.
Exactly. Precisely. Yeah. And we can't forget about PBM's anti-inflammatory effects too.
Right. We discussed, that reduction in those pro-inflammatory markers.
Yeah.
How does PBM actually achieve this? What's happening?
Well, it seems to modulate the activity of these immune cells called macrophages. Okay. And macrophages, those are essential for cleaning up debris and fighting infection. But their inflammatory response, while important initially, can become problematic if it persists for too long,
So PBM is kind of helping to keep the inflammatory response in check.
Exactly, yeah. It appears to shift those macrophages from a pro-inflammatory state to a more anti-inflammatory, pro-healing state. So, creating a more balanced environment that favors tissue regeneration.
We've been focusing on burn wounds.
Right.
But I imagine PBM has potential applications far beyond burns.
Absolutely, yeah. Researchers are investigating its potential for a wide range of conditions. So, we're talking chronic wounds, nerve injuries, osteoarthritis, even hair loss.
Really? That's quite a diverse range of applications. What's driving all this, interest in PBM?
Well, one key factor is that it's a non-invasive, relatively low-risk therapy. So it offers a safe and potentially very effective alternative or complement to existing treatments for a variety of these conditions.
So if PBM is so promising,
yeah,
why isn't it, more widely used in clinical practice already? What's the holdup?
That's a great question. Yeah. It's important to remember that PBM is still a relatively young field, Okay. There's a lot of ongoing research to optimize treatment parameters, such as the specific wavelengths of light, the dosage, and the duration of treatment,
It's like figuring out the ideal recipe. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
For each patient in each condition.
Indeed. Yeah. The research supporting PBM's effectiveness is growing rapidly, and with advancements in technology, we're seeing the development of more sophisticated and user-friendly PBM devices all the time.
It's an exciting time to be following this field, that's for sure.
It really is, yeah. Before we wrap up, I'd like to shift gears a little bit and consider a broader perspective here.
Okay, yeah.
So we've been discussing the biological effects of light on wound healing, but light also has this, profound impact on our minds and well-being.
That's interesting. Tell me more.
So light plays a really crucial role in regulating our circadian rhythms, right?
Right.
Our natural sleep-wake cycles. So exposure to bright light during the day, that helps, keep us alert and focused, while darkness at night promotes good sleep.
And we all know how important sleep is for, overall health, right?
Exactly, precisely. And, it turns out that sleep is also really crucial for wound healing. Yeah. So during sleep, our bodies release growth hormones and, other molecules that actually promote tissue repair.
So could PBM indirectly benefit wound healing by improving sleep quality?
It's certainly possible, yeah. Research has shown that exposure to certain wavelengths of light, including red and near-infrared light, can promote relaxation and improve sleep quality.
Wow, that's amazing. It's fascinating to think that PBM could have these, dual benefits.
Right.
Stimulating cellular repair and optimizing our natural healing rhythms.
Imagine a world where we can use light to heal not just our physical wounds, but also to soothe our minds and promote restful sleep.
That sounds almost too good to be true.
It might sound futuristic, but with the pace of scientific discovery, who knows what the future holds.
It's amazing to think that something as simple as light could have such a profound impact on our bodies.
It really speaks to the interconnectedness of everything, We often think of light as something external, but it plays such a fundamental role in our biology.
We've talked about how PBM is a game changer for wound healing, and it seems like the potential applications go far beyond just burns.
Absolutely. Researchers are exploring its use for all sorts of conditions, from chronic wounds and nerve injuries to osteoarthritis and even hair loss.
Wow. It's mind-boggling to think that one therapy could have such a wide range of applications. What's driving all this interest in PBM?
I think it's the combination of its effectiveness and its safety. PBM is non-invasive, drug-free, and has a very low risk of side effects. It offers a really appealing alternative or complement to traditional treatments, many of which come with a whole host of downsides.
So why isn't PBM already more widely available? If it's so promising, why aren't doctors prescribing it left and right?
Well, it's still a relatively young field. There's a lot of research still being done to optimize treatment protocols. Things like the ideal wavelengths of light to use, the dosage, the duration of treatment. Those are all still being investigated.
So it sounds like there's a lot of fine-tuning still to be done.
Exactly. And every condition is different. So what works for a burn wound might not be the best approach for a nerve injury, for example.
So it's about tailoring the treatment to the individual patient and their specific needs.
Precisely. And while we've made great strides in understanding how PBM works at a molecular level, there's still a lot we don't know. The body is incredibly complex, and light interacts with it in intricate ways that we're still unraveling.
It's like we've stumbled upon this hidden treasure, but we're still figuring out how to unlock all its secrets.
That's a great analogy. But despite the challenges, the future of PBM is incredibly bright. The research is advancing rapidly, and new applications are being discovered all the time.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me. It's made me realize just how much potential there is in this field, and it's given me a newfound appreciation for the power of light.
I'm glad to hear that. It's a truly fascinating area of research, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the years to come.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap things up. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the science behind PBM to its potential applications and the challenges that lie ahead.
But one thing is clear, PBM is a groundbreaking therapy with the potential to transform the way we approach healing.
And I, for one, am eager to see that potential unfold.
As am I.
So to all our listeners out there, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep an open mind to the possibilities of science. Who knows what incredible breakthroughs are just around the corner.
And until next time, may your days be filled with light.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.